probably just getting a priority 80 carry up against the Aphelios would be the option here.
You don't want something that needs a strong pair like Lucian, for example, because then those pairs will get banned away in the second phase. So this is a really tricky angle actually right now for Taeyun. See what he wants to lock in.
Is it just going to be... Okay,
Nico is up. That's one of the only blindable supports I feel in this situation. That makes sense.
Agreed. That's a scary one. Is Delight thinking about the good old Aphelios Thresh? That'd be fun. But the Lulu makes the most sense here. As you can already see that there is a ranged support on the other side, so being able to go toe-to-toe in the laning phase is going to be pretty important here. And him and Gumayushi are going to have a lot of fun on these two champs. And now also sets Kanavi up to play something that can really get in amongst it as well. Lulu is so good at supporting skirmish-heavy junglers, and so is Xin Zhao going to be something worth considering on the ban list here
Jarvan.
for Nongshim, as well as that Jarvan, exactly right.
I think those are definitely the big ones. The Ambessa is another consideration, but it's already been banned. So, see what he does decide to go for here. I think he'll get his pick of what's left, as Jarvan feels like it's 100% the ban right here for Nongshim Red Force.
Yep. I feel like there are some traps for Kingen. I feel like it's a little bit of a scary scenario because we've been seeing a lot of blind Renekton being answered by Na and Kennen.
Yeah,
and
I don't think
doing that into Zeus sounds like an actual death wish.
Yeah, I don't think you want to blind that here in this draft. You only have the Pantheon for ball carrier. The Nico engage is decent.
Bei den Zigers aber okay, fand ich.
Growth is so good defensively for the Aphelios, not to mention the engage opportunity.
Langsam gefühlt.
Xin Zhao's gone.
Also, ich kann es nicht so wirklich beschreiben, aber ziemlich langsam.
I mean, in terms of other like engaged jungles,
Vom Feeling her. Die Games hätten viel schneller sein können, aber war okay.
Sion is going to be the opt-in here for Zeus.
Okay.
Alright.
The Kanavi pick for last. A little bit surprising.
Very surprising, unless he's going to play Lulu jungle, which I highly doubt. As Taeyun, let's see whether he's
rewatchen
on something like his Ezreal that we've seen.
Honestly, G2M-Coil-Match war schon ziemlich gut gespielt. G2M-Coil war schon gut gespielt. Giant vs. Shifters war etwas. Rest keiner skippable.
Look entirely quirky, one that we haven't talked about and is very safe actually. But there's not a lot of engage here until we find out what that Kanavi pick is just yet for Hanwha Life Esports. But you take a strong 2v2 in the bottom lane, and it's playable into the Lulu, and then you go, okay, well, no matter what your jungle pick is, it's going to be Valkyriable, probably. We banned the Jarvan, we banned the Xin Zhao, so you don't have those wild growth combos, and the Sion isn't really a big threat for the Corki. So I do like how they've rounded this one out.
Oh, it's Zion. Okay.
Zion debut
Hallo Blödsinn.
here in LCK.
11 Uhr nicht vergessen mit More. Ja, gerne noch, wenn du um 11 Uhr nochmal schreibst, wäre voll geil.
Even played in LCP as support
Wäre voll geil.
One or not, but Orca played it. It's
I'd
say gives this composition though a lot of frontline and brawling power around this Corki once he hits his 2-item spike.
Yeah,
Aatrox jungle the answer.
All right, that's what Kanavi's looking at here. It's Zahin before Zahin is going to be picked up. As of course,
Schlafen? Okay, ja.
The conversation yesterday where we did have Aatrox actually picked up. A lot of people
Mein Gott,
were asking
war schon gut, ja.
Aatrox wasn't the consideration instead. But this will be Kanavi on this champion. Of course, if you were watching during the Kesper Cup, Aatrox jungle was kind of ridiculous during that.
Aatrox jungle, cool.
We are, you know, a patch or two down the line since then. Considered as powerful, but is still pretty good and gets through the jungle pretty quick.
I think Zahin works really well in matchups like this, where you're just constantly trading with a tank.
Ja, bei IMO funktioniert das eben nicht gut in Sion. Also von dem, was ich gesehen habe, funktioniert das nicht so gut mit. Sobald der Bramble West hat, ist das Matchup nicht mehr so geil.
A lot of the time with Zion, if you're in a tough matchup early, it can be quite volatile, and if you fall behind, it's really difficult to get back into the game. Aatrox a lot safer in that regard, but if you get through the laning phase and you get to those brawly team fights later on where your Corki's on 2 items, you are just going to be so difficult to stop. So I like this angle here. I think this is one of the better drafts, and probably why we haven't seen it up until this point. It's just been kind of looking for a little bit more of a niche draft like this that suits it incredibly well. This comp, though, for Hanwha Life Esports scales so incredibly well. That tanky frontline might not matter when that Aphelios is cutting through.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think that both of these compositions are looking pretty balanced, but Hanwha Life Esports looks so incredible.
Peace, had a big kill.
So much of this game with Gumayushi then as that late game win condition.
Sorry.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for game number 1 of our final day of our first week of LCK Cup. Already, you can see a
Lobby.
bit of biffo here towards
Da ist der Other Jungle dieses Jahr, zumindest den ich sehe, ja.
too much to be coming from this. We'll have to see who is actually going to be able to pick up the lane control here in this one, as of course, with the Calibrum, you do have a fair
Siehst du, also hättest du legit geweint? Ja, wer sagt, dass ich nicht hab?
known for having a lot of buttons that do good things in the early
Wer sagt, dass ich nicht hab?
laning phase.
Halblaus.
Shield from Delight, his barrier after
Top
that.
3 Best Supports.
Poke damage here. The Corki has
Spielen Enchanter.
throughput,
Ich glaub, Enchanter sind busted as fuck.
but doesn't want to necessarily trade with the Lulu on the other side, so it's just a little bit of a poke war here.
Wurde Casper gespielt? Ja, aber die Jahr noch nicht.
Just expend his
Also
barrier.
diese, 26er Pusher nicht, glaube ich. Also ich habe zumindest keinen gesehen, wie gesagt.
Anyways,
And Taeyun does have his up and available, so it might
Pro
be
Player Top 3, keine Ahnung, das ist die erste Woche.
bit of an aggressive opportunity here for Nongshim, already pushing relatively aggressively.
Wahrscheinlich die letzten wieder dieselben wie letztes Jahr.
Clear cut, we win the lane type scenario. As you can see, King taking a bit of a combo here from Zeus. And probably wants a couple of extra buttons up and available here on the Zion before he's really feeling good into the Scion.
yeah, you know, you have your kind of skewer ability, which he hasn't locked, obviously your W. And that can be used in a lot of other matchups, but against this Scion, you're kind of like, just keep my distance from him for now.
Sagen du, VfB mir heute, klar.
Closer towards us, perhaps.
Yeah.
Ja, Matchup gegen Sion ist rough, by the way. Also, das ist nicht. Also, was die Kasse gesagt haben, das stimmt nicht. Einmal. Ich finde das Matchup gegen Sion als dahin. Oh, das ist rough.
I think that was the way he wanted to play that.
Yeah, and it is, you know, it kind of works out here as Taeyun didn't get a massive amount of value from his barrier. And Gumayushi almost has his back up and available.
Yeah, he actually played that pretty passively after getting the barrier, gets away, has the
Spielen
Lulu
eine neue Season,
to
ja.
keep him up, and then he has Red Gun to heal. Actually ends up working out way better than I initially anticipated there on the setup. Guma has such mastery of this champion. I mentioned I was banned against him last time, like that it's his first penta in the LCK. He was playing behind Teddy back in 2021 after having his debut in the Worlds qualifier, and he's since won multiple World Championships and has the most recent MVP under his belt, but it's been a while since he's been able to play Aphelios, and I'm sure he's probably enjoying the laning phase here.
Yeah, feeling pretty good about it so far. Currently behind a little bit as far as farm, but nothing too much to be worried about here. As Kingin taking another combo here from Zeus, who seems to be having an alright time on this Scion. Sponge making his way down towards
Er hat gerade noch die Skill für LCK, Moment, eine Sekunde.
She could be in a little bit of trouble. We'll see. Playing it very safely for now. Should mean that everything will be okay. Gumayushi also with a fair bit of added safety, the Gravitum up and available. And so we'll be able to stop some members in their tracks. It's all right.
LCK Update
Almost
für.
hitting the snared is Lahens. Gumayushi able to use that flash, get him.
Sie waren das ja LCK seit diesem Jahr.
Carry feels pretty good with a return.
Seit diesem Jahr habe ich jetzt gerechnet.
Putting Guma in a very
So,
vulnerable
okay.
spot.
LEC ist updated.
Follow-up there.
So.
Is looking for the extended trade here. Gets the knockup. Not gonna matter too much.
Yep, charging up that passive over and over. And of course, pretty dangerous doing battle with this guy when he does have that one full.
Leute, sobald Sion Bram West hat, habe ich das Gefühl, wird das Matchup deutlich schwieriger für den Sahin.
The difference between Zahin and Aatrox is like with Aatrox you want to hit the sweet spot, right? And like you basically initially hit it kind of far away.
Aatrox Jungle wurde der Clear Speed ein bisschen genervt.
Right in his face, whereas the sweet spot
Wird, wenn ich mich rechne, in seinem nächsten Patch wieder gebufft. Ich fand ihn nicht mal so terrible jetzt auf dem Patch. Also ehrlicherweise war glaube ich, immer noch okay auf dem Patch.
It is somewhat awful.
Aber
But Kingen will just have to see, is of course hitting a sweet spot on a Scion.
sie wollen ihn wohl gespielt haben und das ist fein.
He is a relatively large champion. So there you go. Maybe that's why Kingen has gone for this into the Scion this time around. As of course, probably would have wanted to pick the Ambessa or the Gwen.
Guck hier noch.
Away. As yeah, fair bit of damage there. As gets a nice little knock up, but not going to quite be able to kill the
Sicher benutzt. Gut.
one.
That's where you can get those trading patterns in this matchup when he charges a full Q and you have all your abilities up. So you want that wave, you're going to have to work for it. You're going to have to expend your health bar for it. He will expend a teleport as well as he heads back to lane. Kingen will match.
Yep. Does
Vielleicht kriegt ein Freebase.
now put together.
Die wissen natürlich, dass Kanavi nicht da, dass Kanavi da ist.
A Bramble Vest, so Zeus is getting more and more frustrating to deal with here in this lane.
Und jetzt wissen sie aber auch, dass die Botlane basen, also dass Gumayushi eigentlich basen sollte.
So Kingen, work cut out for him just a little bit here.
They
Schuldig.
Yeah.
Kann ich ja dessen vermitteln, Pleasure. Oh, ist gespottet.
Some tanks once he does have weird. Yeah, that is very strange. Didn't know you could get through that wall. There you go.
Sponge is very low.
Yeah.
Alles relativ Standard. Passt.
Dragon, but Kanavi looking for a little bit of an option here. Does hit the infernal chains, but they're broken pretty comfortably.
Sponge is like, yeah, if it was another jungler, I would have felt scared, but that's Aatrox. His engage is kind of, you know, relying on me not walking away.
Ja, vor allem Spiel einfach mit, also das ist einfach mit Lane, so wie die Map halt ist, ne? So gespielt. Passt.
Kanavi was like, well, I guess I'd toss it out and see what happens. This is the first dragon going over to Nongshim to control that bottom lane. And the Corki pick working out here initially. Scout?
Emperor's Divide, yeah, gonna throw back Scout here as Kanavi with
Musst du flashen, weil es ist ja tot.
does come through. There's the flash infernal chains, and Scout is
Ja.
just pulled back.
Also,
The sweet spot of Q3, and down he
nee, musst du flashen als Scout. Ich glaube, nicht flashen ist einfach greedy as fuck. Von dieser Tod.
Yeah, he should be
Ah,
able to
Josh eigentlich so.
clears this wave.
Jetzt wieder runterklären.
And
Runterklären für Aatrox into Grubbies.
not enough.
Plus kein Flash mehr auf Scout, also nächste Asi-Ult ist ja wieder
End
fucked.
up getting pulled back by the chains. Didn't use his ult there.
Bitches.
There was really any angle to save him because
Ja, du musst es flashen.
which this comes through. Like if he ults here, it doesn't matter.
You have to flash it immediately,
Yeah,
right?
it's the only way to survive here is to flash the Emperor's Divide. If he ults both of them on the
Ja, also musst du flashen. Gibt's keine Excuse.
So doesn't matter. Like you said,
Gibt's
that's
keine Excuse.
the part he did not opt for. And just didn't react, I suppose.
Yeah. The job had kind of already been done as soon as that Emperor's Divide did hit. So a little bit unfortunate there for Scout, but
Aber ähnlich stark leider? Ja, war er letztes Jahr auch nicht. Letztes Jahr war er auch schon scheiße.
almost has that Nash
In JDG.
together.
Also das ist
Kanavi
jetzt
off to the races.
honestly die kleinste Überraschung.
Actually farming extraordinarily well, him and Sponge in this game, really getting around this jungle as quickly as they can. Reset to come through here for the Aatrox and getting very, very close to item number 1.
Ja, Bramble fertig für Sion.
Ult up for Pantheon, so I don't think Kanavi's going to make any plays down here, but he is going to go to these Kregs first to start his nuclear. And we'll see Scout rotating over as well, trying to make something with this Pantheon ultimate for Sponge. Doesn't look like they're going to get anything except deep vision.
Yep. And they do spot that Kanavi is towards his bottom side, so having eyes on this.
Erwarten jetzt einen Grubby-Start gleich. Theoretisch, ich glaube, Kanavi könnte basen, hätte Sana Sky.
But, he's on the
Mit dem Kill, also durch den Kill.
and then
Sollte hinkommen.
another avenue as the Grubs have just spawned.
Entscheidet sich dagegen, okay.
Port of call for both of our teams to look at as far as these.
Aber jetzt wie erwartet, Full Clear runter, into Grubs. Passt. Scout darf nicht nach vorne steppen, sonst wird er geultet. Okay, steppt nach vorne, wird geultet. Okay, Apokalypse dann für den vierten. Dieses Game ist fucking doomed.
I mean, I was watching the positioning of Kanavi on the minimap and where Scout was, and I was in my head, I almost just said before this even happened, like I think Scout's dead because he just doesn't have flash. He doesn't have anything he can do there. If that dash comes through from Zeka, he's just way too close. And he's just dead again, and that's free grubs. Like there's just.
Ich glaube, ich würde als schlechteres Team immer die Asia-Seite nehmen.
Trying to set up something down
Also,
bottom lane with this Pantheon is going to be so tricky
oder?
as well.
Boah, ist halt auch wieder so eine schwammige Aussage, ich weiß nicht.
This one, Nongshim.
Aber ich habe das Gefühl, wenn das Gegner-Team besser darum ist, um Mitte herumzuspielen, aber das ist ja nicht mehr wirklich um Mitte herumspielen, sondern der hat einfach nur gegrieft. Also, krank gegrieft, alle Sektionen.
Like Guma has barrier flash too. Like this is going to be so tricky to pull off. They might be able to do it.
It's red white guns. It's a bit scary here as the pop
Oh, die sind late.
come on through. They do try and focus.
Oh, die sind late.
The wild growth of Tayan's going to go down in trade. Second teleports in to make sure that he's seeing the end of
Okay.
this fight, but a 1-for-1 is not what Nongshim were looking for.
No, certainly not.
One for one und vor allem der ADK stirbt.
When the wild growth comes through, because he has the
Ruhe.
or sorry, when the pop blossom comes through, because he has the wild growth, hits two, and Tayun
Ja, wie zur Hölle hat Croc wieder Agro.
so ends up being a 1-for-1. Still,
Alles
able
Valid-Fragen.
to make a successful play happen, and they were also able to get Zeka's teleport, so it's not all for nothing down there on the bottom side, but like you said, definitely looking for a little bit more on that one. It was a desperate attempt, but at least it didn't go up all empty. You know, maybe Guma's flashes the pop blossom and that goes even worse, but
Wir müssen eine Wave swappen. Das ist immer okay für die Quest. Das ist natürlich jetzt nicht todesgeil, aber so ist es halt. Also, wenn Zeka dabei den TV, dann bleibt noch eine Wave extra. Deswegen Gummishi Mitte.
Picking up turret aggro, not exactly the greatest of maneuvers either.
Ist ein bisschen anders geschlafen. Ich habe noch frisch aufgewacht.
1-for-1 and denying farm for Guma. Probably, you know, it's a neutral play. We'll call it neutral. Let's give it that.
I mean, it's furthering Tayun's lead.
Hast du gestern eine Shisha-Bar? Nee,
And
warum?
it's the only available play they had if they just, you know, keep pushing that in and say, well, that's it. Like, Sponge is like, why do you pick Pantheon? I can't ult anywhere. There's no angle for me in this game. As Kingan's an early game Zahin, you know, and the Orianna is getting crushed.
Oh. Lahen's also getting crushed, but does have a disengage cone. Shout out to Valdez. Waiting on the space. Maybe we will get our highlight number one as
Wow, Scott hat wieder Flash.
Just to talk about how
Gegen wen haben wir vorher schon gespielt? Gegen T1.
Pantheon still has ultimate, but is very far
1-2
away.
verloren.
And there's a lurking Aatrox, like
Es gehen an Alonso interessiert.
very awkward as they crash this wave through. They're gonna at least get a plate, but they may get more as Taeun still has flash, but they could just cut off this Pantheon. Or sorry, this Nico.
Yeah, Lahen's has the flash immediately. Now Taeun realizes that he's in.
Liegt da falsch, war für Montag geplant. Aber ich glaube, das ist eine tote Nummer. Oh mein Gott. Kommt ein Kill. Ist gut. Weiß nicht, ob Kanavi so... Okay, not bad. Guter Target, also guter Fokus einfach. Strong. Wo ist Peanut? Peanut hat, ist gestartet. Solid.
Man, Kanavi is poised to take over this game completely.
Don't forget that Scout had to flash to
Nur Scout hat kein Flashback, genau. Genau, der ist wieder tot.
If Zeka lives there, it's even worse. I mean, they really are one step forward.
Hast du mehr erwartet von Nongshim? Nö.
Back on this
Überhaupt nicht.
one. And like the whole time,
Überhaupt
it's
nicht.
Kanavi set up for success. He has this Lulu. And this is kind of the way that you can play so many of these new bruiser junglers, like the Embesso we've already seen in the same position. When you have a Lulu, you just go, well, if I'm going in, and I'm Aatrox, I've got a lot of healing, I'm very difficult to kill, I have a wild growth, I have shields, you know? Zeka ends up getting the dash over the wall here. Scout
Tutorials, danke für den Raid.
over the wall, which is a nice
Mo,
flash here, is
Liebe.
able to get that off successfully. But the rest of the team
Dankeschön.
here is just way too deep, and like, watch Kanavi get on top of the Hens.
Welche spannenden Spiele stehen heute an? Wir haben natürlich die Battle of the Week mit Los Tons gegen KCB.
Has wild growth on him.
Ich glaube, beide LCK-Series sind 2-0.
Dent in his health bars.
Gibt's, also ja, das ist für mich non-discussable. Beide LCK-Series 2-0. Und dann heute Abend in der LEC Fnatic gegen SK. Ist cool, aber ich glaube, Fnatic gewinnt. Also based auf gestern Performance. Aber mal schauen. Und dann MCOY gegen KC ist heute Abend auch noch.
And I don't know whether we're going to be seeing too much of the Zahin gameplay in today's game.
I just think we're witnessing a bit of a, I don't want to say it's player-based on the Sponge side, but he just hasn't been set up for any sort of jungle proactivity, whereas Kanavi has these lanes that are crushing, and he's able to find constant value, even without a global ultimate, so Sponge is still just behind the curve this entire time. He just cannot make the impact.
They are on the same screen as Kanavi. That cannot be a good idea as Sponge dives forward onto Gumayushi. He flashes away. Kanavi's just posing the question. Can they kill him? That's the question is now in amongst it. Taeun going down very, very low. There's a wild growth.
Oh, stirbt. Okay, ich wollte gerade sagen, stirbt der Typ gar nicht, oder was?
To take down the Aatrox. The problem is Zeka turns up and that's going to be two on the floor with Nongshim at the same time.
This is a big disaster for Nongshim here on these bottom lane skirmishes. And we just have not seen the top laners involved in this game at all. And the Aphelios isn't
alles oben, ja.
per se. In fact, was down an item over the
alles
Corki
oben.
in this exchange, but it doesn't matter because they have the Aatrox that's fed, that's such a strong body.
Jungle Roller balanced. Ne, stimmt. Jungle Roller hat Scout Mind controlled, dass er nicht die Azir-Ulti flasht das erste Mal. Und dann beim Follow-Up wieder stirbt. Hast du recht, ist Jungle.
Has a lot of Nico engage, has the Orianna engage, but when it's not all set up, like, I'm not entirely sure what they thought was going to happen. After getting Guma's flash, you'd want to get out, but you can't really get out. Lahen gets the Pop Blossom, so they're like, okay, I guess we turn on Kanavi. They should have probably just said, well, let's get out. You know, the Pop Blossom may allow us to potentially escape as Zeka shows up here, and they just get routed. Sure, kill Kanavi in the end. Absolutely not worth.
Zeka zu Schei gerüstet, nichts.
It was a bit of shutdown money.
Keine Meinung.
But you can see he still has a 1.3k gold advantage, and with Scout grabbing the kill, does mean that he now is in the lead just slightly. Does have his Blackfire Torch now completed.
Ja, Silent ist halt wieder Terror, ne? Also,
Will be doing a fair bit of consistent damage.
ich glaube, jede Ulti von Scout ist halt, also jede Ulti von Zeka ist immer noch Flash oder Def, weiß ich.
But as this game goes on, I mean, Gumyushi is going to be.
Heißt, Kingen muss eigentlich, also Kingen und oder Lehens müssen halt perma um Top-Laner rum sein und das ist so fucking doomed.
Might be the 2-item spike in the Collector Infinity Edge that he's going for here. Actually kind of like that. Trying to get a little bit of extra power in those 2 items instead of going for a lot more of these 3-item builds. All right, Kanavi, I don't know
what the fuck.
Just dead.
Like I said,
What the fuck.
The other directions.
Ey, dieser Typ, ne? Ich liebe ihn, aber was macht er manchmal? Alter. Insanely hard to watch teilweise.
But that's okay. I like the gusto.
Yeah, I like the gusto a little bit less, but I thought, you know, it looked really like we were going to put...
Sometimes it's the intention that counts, you know, and he intended to make action happen, Wolf.
He was like, look, I hit this guy with Thunder Sky, then I hit the next guy. I mean, there's something here.
Yeah.
There was not, in fact, something there, except 3 people that were trying to kill him, and then they did. But hey, you know...
Obviously super Terror, da den Herald abzugeben, also super Terror. Darf eigentlich nicht passieren.
Like, if you look at the setup here, the rest of the team is not rotating.
What the fuck?
Zeka is not in position to Emperor's.
Ohne Witz, das ist
I think there needs to be a little bit more coordinated of a discussion about how they were going to fight that. They probably have to drop Herald and look for a flash play from Zeka, or just be a little bit more patient.
Ganz komisch.
Instead, he kind of just sent it, and it was received.
Yeah.
They got a thank you note in return.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, at least the mail company did a really good job. You nailed that part. Outside of that, not exactly the optimal scenario. However, HLE still sitting on about a 2,000 gold lead. Things still looking great for the squad for the minute. As Kanavi, for a bit of an angle towards Sponge here, is standing on a ward right now, though. So Nongshim with full information as to the whereabouts of this Aatrox.
And we still haven't seen top laners in this game. Like,
yeah, they have not participated.
They're both 0-0-0 up. They're just hitting each other. Kanavi starting up this dragon. Kingen, he's considering. He's like, should I go down there? I don't think so. I'll let Zeus go down. I'm gonna stay up top. I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna get money.
Well, he might actually be able to grab a decent amount of plate gold here, as the Trinity Force is already completed for the Zahin, so we will be cutting through these turrets very effectively. There's the Rift Herald, gets a decent little charge there, as there's a flash ult from Zeus.
Das war ein sicker Engage. Das war well played.
Just stepping a little bit too far forward.
Jetzt nicht griefen kann, aber das war ein ziemlich sicker Engage. Bin auch richtig geil im Follow-up, also Flash, Sion Ulti into Q into Aphelios Ulti. Sexy. Geiler Polymorph. Geiler Polymorph auf Sponge. Nice one. Mox danke für den 13.
Okay, he's not going to die to the turret this time around, as Zeka now could be in a little bit of trouble here, as he does have to shift the sands to make his way out. Delight to slow down Scout with that Glitter Lance. And HLE will be able to back away.
TP from Zeus to the back.
Okay. Well, he's just going to walk up and see whether he can park himself underneath this turret to make something happen. Just says, Scout, please leave.
Das ist ein bisschen unserious hier alles gerade, aber das passt.
Kingen got the whole turret, so I guess he was like, you know what, there's nothing to defend here. Might as well just...
Klein wenig unserious, aber damit eigentlich arbeiten.
Obvious book on how to play League of Legends. But like, I mentioned in the draft, though, Taeun picks the Corki because he's like, okay, there's a Scion, there'll probably be a jungle that engages. I'm a little bit worried about that, as Kingen should be worried.
Alter, also dieser Corki macht so einen Damage, ne? Kanavi ist, also ich sag, Kanavi ist wirklich in 80% der Games so eins vor hinten eventuell.
It's just kind of insane to me that a Corki got Scion engaged on and then died. As Guma instantly followed up, right? I think we're gonna go back to this now. Zeus is just like, Taeun? Nah. Yeah. Flash ult. I mean, just as simple as that. As the wild growth to follow, Guma follows up. He's just dead. And that's, I guess, as a Corki, you feel like, I have Valk, I'm fine.
Als ETS-Stream, Hölle, nein.
Nice little attempt here from Lehens, but there just isn't enough damage. You see the follow from Scout is fantastic, but Kanavi has the turret aggro.
Oh, Lehens finds the angle once again onto Gumyushi. There's the shockwave, and down he will go. Sponge makes his way in as well. They really threw the kitchen sink at Guma to make sure that he went down, and that is going to be his second death of the game.
Gut gepostet, aber finish it. Wow, die gehen da rein. Sponge hat kein Flash. Wow. Gut.
And down will go Sponge. Now Kanavi's still looking for a little bit more here, as he is still alive on Summoner's Rift, so that means he's going to be going in. If there's a turret, does not care.
Like, I kind of said it almost jokingly at the beginning because of how he played that series against T1, but I mean, this is starting to get, like, turn into a meme, like, right before our eyes. But you know what, when you're Aatrox and you're this fed and you have this much support, why not?
I mean, it works.
Yeah. As, you know, this this scenario here, Well, watch this one. Guma gets the shield, goes a bit far up. Lehens is fully wrapped around.
Loki auch nicht seine Wave. Also,
Damage here between the Orianna.
Azir pusht top for fun. Oder Azir pusht top for free.
Sends it.
Jungle ist auf Camps. Top Lane will basen.
This was received.
Ist auch nicht seine Wave.
He goes forward.
Muss man auch sagen. Ist nicht seine Wave.
With the last of his mana, Zeus has his
Also, naja.
charged Q.
Gut gepunished.
Goodness.
And that's the end of the Pantheon. Like, I'm not entirely sure what we were thinking there, Sponge, but
I mean, Kanavi was standing on a control ward for the majority of the time before he even decided to come in. So Nongshim did have information as to what was going on there, but Zeus being able to start that fight off exactly the way they needed him to.
that Kanavi lead is the whole lead. That's the whole thing.
And we were talking about the fact that, you know, Kanavi has one mode. Well, I'm not doubting it. This mode is working, you know? And I know it's a little bit results-based or, you know, outcome-focused assessment, as Daniel Orks Harrison would say.
I mean, with this much gold, you could say he's on economy mode, but it doesn't feel that way. You know what I mean? That usually, like, he's not on low power mode.
Yeah,
that's for sure. As he's 4 levels up on Lehens, takes a swipe at him, and one day.
Ja, ich hab's, also das ist, glaube ich, ein gutes Beispiel von einem Jungler kommt halt ahead. Ne? 2 Level ahead. Thanos. 2 Level ahead, komplett Thanos.
Maybe now that you've got the Sundered Sky, you're better release Aatrox. Get involved a little bit, because Taeyeon is still relevant. He's about to hit his transformation.
Yep.
He's still big. You know, he was caught that one time, but otherwise can do a lot. This composition revolves around its insane front line, the Pantheon, the Zahin, and then the Pop Blossom. Taeyeon can do big with this. They have great setup with Scout as well. His game is.
Aber das sehen wir wieder durch Mitte Brute Force, finde ich eigentlich ganz nice. Also so lange den Kopf gegen die Wand schlagen, bis funktioniert. Ja, finde ich gut. Sponsor kann doch, hat Flash.
Okay, Wolf, Kanavi is going in.
He's going.
I don't want to surprise you, but he is just going to look to kill Sponge.
Oh, er ist stark.
Sponge is just dead.
Wow, er ist stark. Wow, er ist stark.
Turrets, and that
Holy fuck, Mann.
as the Infernal Chains pulls him back. Pop Blossom not going to be enough to save it. Yes, it is. Never mind. Enough to save him.
Boah, er läuft auch nicht raus, ne? Das ist ihm egal. Der ist so ein Freak.
Has tanked about 11 turret shots here.
What the fuck?
Underneath the turret, my goodness.
Er ist ein gigantischer Freak und ich appreciate das.
He's like, I'm not going to TP and drop an ult on this. This is just doomed. It feels like this whole game, I'm watching 5 members on Hanwha Life Esports
Mitte.
walk towards Nongshim and kill them with their fearless leader running forward first. They're
Ja, also schon, also
2.5 items, and Nongshim are just like kind of split up and not sure what to do. Like, well, Kanavi's is like, all right, I found the enemy jungler that's 2 levels down. There are teammates nearby. I mean, I'm sure like Guma and crew are like, there might be some bad guys in there, and he's like, that's what I want to get. That's my goal. He's like, that's kind of the point. And the fact that this between 2 turrets, Sion is
respektiere ich.
able to ult Taeyeon, a Corki. And it's just like, what?
Ja, also wirklich, der Zug hat hier gar keine Bremsen, ne?
I'm kind of losing it. Like, Nongshim, we gotta play a pro game here. Is Hanwha Life Esports is making this look easy. They get the dragon.
Yeah, Nongshim will be able to take their second.
Guter Pull auf Guma. Weiß nicht, ob es mattert. King kriegt seine Stacks vielleicht nicht voll. Mal schauen. Einmal Ulti nur. Gute Sekka-Ulti. Oh, von King. Nice Engage. Nice Engage von King. Gewinnen die? King hat seine Passive noch. Und das ist zu viel. Shitshow.
But that is a much better fight here for Nongshim.
And Kingen, he wanted so
Shitshow.
to Zahin. Like, he was.
I mean,
Er fehlt so wieder gespielt seit diesem Jahr, ja.
3 times.
He went in there. He
Seit
was
diesem Jahr
fighting all
was
the
gespielt.
champions. He was getting polymorphed. Finally,
Obwohl nicht geändert wurde. I mean, I guess er ist doch, es wurde schon
kill me,
geändert,
I'm
fairerweise.
coming back. And they're like, we'll kill you again. What happens after that? As this fight against Taeyeon can't really get access, right? They end up really trying to play through this Zahin as they kite back. Sponge has to flash away. And then King is at half health. He does not really have his passive stacked, right? So
Einfach deep die ganze Zeit, ne? Super deep.
Scouts over the wall, but cannot find can't find full prio target. Zeka goes down, but then Kingen is just running at them while Kanavi keeps the carries away. And ultimately Guma and Delight will get out. It's a messy fight. It's one that Han will win, but that Nongshim win, but not in decisive fashion at all.
They do manage to get the Drake though, so taking the Dragon and being able to come out ahead just a bit in the fight. Also, I mean, you can see it in the gold, that has actually shrunk by about half. So HLE not exactly controlling the game as much as they were prior.
Nico Ult sieht immer wie 0 Damage aus. Ja, die macht auch keinen Damage. Ist nur, also ist halt Utility, ne? Und die LCK von gestern. Shifters gegen Giants war funny. Und MK gegen G2. War gut gespielt. Ansonsten kannst du, aber musst du nicht. Nicht necessary.
Build as well. It's not this.
Yeah, please. I want to see more of this.
Yeah, I want to see it as well. I kind of like it. Does mean that all of your buttons feel like they do stuff when you can just burn them with any sort of ability. And now that he's got a death cap, I mean, everything hurts.
I mean,
so
you're playing into Aatrox and Sion, so it's pretty good if you can do more than just one R button in a team fight. Every Q matters.
Ich glaube, der Lights Performance geht ist so ein bisschen unterm Radar wegen dem Aatrox. Aber der Light spielt ein ziemlich nice Lulu Game bisher.
And clear this control ward as quickly as they can. And the shockwave positioning here makes it difficult to approach for Hanwha Life Esports.
I think Kanavi may be about to go in.
He wants to. I can tell you that much. He's also using restraint.
There are 4 people right there.
Jetzt von den Ratten.
Team not exactly nearby.
Sind nicht gut.
Rotating up faster. And okay.
Wahrscheinlich ein 1-11-Team.
Walking a tightrope here. Wants to
Mal schauen.
it feels like.
Yeah.
Also die Panthers sieht nicht so stark aus. Das ist eine Überraschung.
Onto Sponge. The rest of HLE moving on over. Zeus getting himself into position. There's the flash ulti onto.
Schön.
The Q knocks up 2 of them.
Well,
There's the shuffle from Zeka.
so viel zur Hoffnung.
But it's in trade for one of them being the AD carry. And HLE now considering going for a Baron.
I mean, Zeus
Well.
is making like this.
Da ist gerade Magie passiert.
Yeah, right? He just keeps flashing and getting exactly what he wants. He's gap closing with his flash button. He's using
Turnen.
point blank range.
Oh, Lenus ist tot.
Now Gumayusi could be in a little bit of trouble, but it's just by hand. So I don't know how they were supposed to do anything about that. He does go golden. Is now King in at full health, but he has to face off against Zeus, who is incredibly difficult to kill. There's the W and the ulti comes through here from Kingen.
Geiler Champ. Also honestly, ich liebe Sahin, aber...
Scout looking for the angle here as Gumayusi is by himself.
Warte, wie verlieren die denn? Moment mal.
Now Kingen fighting off Zeus and Zeka here one by one.
Moment mal.
He will go down in the process. And Zeka still not able to actually enter the river here, so the Baron will stay alive.
Sponge is back up here. Kanavi's down for 30 seconds. But I
Hab's Gefühl, sie hätten einfach den Nash finishen können, oder?
Baron, Zeka's still
Bin ich delusional?
back up. Zeka did so much.
In meinem Kopf war es einfach ein Nash-Finish.
Kept Kingen at bay.
Sponge tot.
You know what?
Guma's death.
I guess Lance hatte noch Ulti, deswegen ein bisschen scared.
About this though. And these are two legend teams.
Yeah,
This game feels so Rise Group right
No, it
now,
really does.
which is only a good thing.
Like, when you watch this setup here, it feels like in so many ways, like Nongshim don't have a great plan. They see Kanavi, they start running. That's like a good strategy usually, because Kanavi might run too far afterwards. But then Zeus is able to flash the Raptor Pit, set up the Wombo combo. Kingen teleports in, and then this fight gets a little bit messy here.
Ja, I guess der war nicht da, aber...
He's able to stack his passive up. And this Lahen's ultimate would have been great if there was follow-up. But this whole game, Nongshim have been so split on team fights that even though the gold was relatively even, my whole vibe for this game is that like the tempo vibes are not Nongshim's. Like they just do not have a setup in team fights. And I think if they were all coordinated like they were,
Und wenn Sahin natürlich seine Pässe bekommt, ist er todesstark.
Scout, this game could look very different. They are able to, because Scout is able to get on top of Guma, take him out. But Kingen is just a ragdoll here. It doesn't have any follow-up damage even with Scout's build.
It was a very awkward position for Gumayusi to find himself in as well, as he was sort of on the wrong side of the big old rock, but wanted to stay in range to do damage.
Der Dudelsack auf Sion.
Did find himself at the
Bekommen Move-Speed.
after that flash did come on through. HLE looking for Soul Point. They will be able to get it.
There's a control ward here. They know that Nongshim are on this, obviously, and they're very aware that they were rotating over, but they can see the timing, and they know exactly.
Was Ulti-Cooldown von Sion? Was? Eine Minute wahrscheinlich?
There's no way they can do this. They also have Sundisk
At this point.
here, so Nongshim wanted to give Dragon to get Baron, but they will get nothing in return.
Zeus doesn't have flash, so he's not going to be flashing on top of Nongshim this time around, but he can drive a
Talia, du hast noch Talia Rice vergessen. Bei den Matchups.
Kanavi now getting very close.
Du hast noch Talia Rice vergessen.
I'm not sure about this position, but he does sidestep Zeus' ultimate. Still gets slowed down though, as the Roar of the Slayer does come on through, and there is the fully charged cube. My hands will just be dead.
I didn't see it until just now. When I saw that slow, I was like, does he have Bandle Pipe? He has Bandle Pipes. Zeus built Bandle Pipes.
There we go.
He's gotten a lot of gold this game. He's putting it to good use. Now Nongshim are looking for a contest.
Well, could be a
Jetzt haben wir gut.
He's been pretty good at those.
Also, hier bei 50-50 würde ich jetzt nicht machen.
One down.
3K, Sponge kommt rein, also die können easy für den Stick. Oh mein Gott, geil eingeflasht Ulti. Wow!
Absolutely insane. This is
Wow. Okay. Wow. Ist Game Over. Der ist actually over. Wow. Richtig sick eingeflasht, Ulti. 1-0 Nongshim. 1-0 Nongshim.
Trying to end here, I think, might be a bridge too far, but they may go for it. They may just also go back and take the Baron. 20 seconds on Aphelios.
Ich halt Fische.
I mean, the Scout is so huge this game. This turret is just not.
Das war eine sick eingeflashte Ori-Ulti.
Barely have enough time here to take this Nexus out. What a silly end. Great combo.
GG.
What a ridiculous game.
That game.
GG.